Okay. So last time we said that these two equations are unbalanced, no? Because the particles here are not equal, no? So for this one on the top, no? Same yung atoms, yes. Isang silver, isang aluminum. Same yung dami ng atoms, but yung charges ay hindi, no? So uneven charges gives us a hint that the electrons are not balanced, no? Okay. So according to the law of conservation of mass kasi, ah hindi lang dapat atom yung balance, no? Including with it is the electrons, no? So ibig sabihin, this equation can be considered unbalanced because the electrons are not balanced, no? Okay. And for this one, dito sa baba, it is so obvious that this is unbalanced. Okay. So, napaka-obvious na hindi siya balanced in terms of charge and in terms of atoms, no? So, in order for us to balance them, we have to follow certain steps in balancing redox reactions. Okay. So this is quite different with the usual balancing, no? Diba sa usual balancing, bilangin mo lang atoms, yun na yun. Okay. But in redox reaction, it takes a different approach, no? Okay. So basahin natin yung steps natin dito. Number one, you split the equation into two half equations. What does that mean, no? Diba, in your entire equation, magkasama dyan yung oxidation and reduction. Okay? So in this equation, magkasama oxidation and reduction. So ang gagawin mo dito is for them to be balanced, you split them muna into two. Okay? Paghiwalayin mo muna sila. Okay? Split them into two half equations wherein separate yung oxidation and reduction reaction. Okay. So after splitting them into two, then you can balance the atom for each equations. Balance the atoms other than the oxygen and the hydrogen before balancing them sequentially. Okay. Ibig sabihin, kunwari, may chromium. Chromium muna i-balance mo. Then, followed by oxygen. Then, followed by hydrogen. Always hydrogen yung last na binabalance na atom. Later on, I will show you how to do this. Okay. And also, when balancing oxygen, you should add the water. Okay. For example, you have 7 oxygens on the left side. Sa right side, wala. Gagawin mo, you add water to the right side. How many water molecules? Kung ilan yung oxygen sa left, ganun karaming oxygen molecules sa kabila. Okay? For example, 7 sa left. Dapat magdagdag ka ng 7 water molecules sa right. Bakit 7? Kasi, yung isang water molecule, isang oxygen katumbas niyan. So, kung 7 yung kabila, kailangan 7 din yung nasa kabila, no? So, you should add 7 H2O. Okay? So, yan. And lastly, when balancing hydrogens, no? Kunwari, sobrang dami namang hydrogens on the other side. You need to add H plus on the opposite side, no? H plus ang idadagdag to balance hydrogens. Okay? So now, when the atoms are balanced, no? Pag binalance mo na yung other atoms, oxygens, and hydrogens, then you need to balance the charges naman. You will check ilan yung charge sa left side, ilan yung charge sa right side. Okay? Ano lang yun? So, mabasag. Mamaya pakita ko. Okay? So, you need to balance the charges on both sides now. If they are unbalanced in charge, then you have to add electrons to the side with a higher charge. No? Bakit dun sa side with the higher charge? Bakit dun sa charge with the highest charge? Kasi, ang purpose ng electron is to bring down the charge. No? So, negative kasi yun eh. So, kailangan yung mataas na charge, pababain mo in order for the sides of the equation to be equal in charge. No? Okay? So, ganun. And then, lastly, you combine the half equations. Once balanced na yung tig-isang equation, pagsamahin mo uli sila. Make sure that the number of electrons are equal. No? Kunwari, sa isang equation, 5 electrons. Sa kabilang equation, 2 electrons. Okay, so kailangan mag-equal yung electrons. Paano yun? You get the least common factor. Okay, so which is 10. No? So 5 times 2 is 10. So you will multiply one equation by 5, you will multiply one equation by 10. Okay, so yun. So yan, ang steps, medyo marami. Pero once you get used to it, madali na lang to. Okay. And gaya nga sabi ko sa inyo, I find this easier to balance than the usual balancing ng atoms. No? Kasi dali lang to eh. Ikaw na mismo mag-a-add ng atoms eh. Okay. Kung ilang kailangan mong atoms, yung ikaw magdadagdag mismo. Okay. So yun yung kagandahan sa redox. No? For me, no? But others find this hard. Okay. Anyway, since ang ating mangyayari dito, the equation contains H+. So we can say that this balancing part is acidic. No? Acidic kasi may H+. If you're asked to get the basic media equation, ibig sabihin walang H+, OH dapat. Ganito gagawin mo. Kung ilan yung H+ mo dito, ganun karami yung OH na idadagdag mo on both sides of the equation. Okay. Bakit? Mamaya pakita ko. Okay? So again, take note of the steps, no? And then I will show you how to do this, no? Okay? So take note of that and let's proceed. Balance the equation. Okay, so let's balance this equation. Ayan, madali pa lang yan. So, ano yung first step? You split the two equations, no? Paghiwalay mo yung two equations, paano? Kung sino yung similar atoms, yun yung pagsamahin mo. Okay? So, for example, yung silver, similar yan. Okay, so similar yan. And then you have the aluminum, similar yan. Pagsamahin mo sila. Okay? Okay? So, ganun gagawin mo. So, paghiwalayin mo sila by combining similar atoms. That means our half equations will be na-minimize. Our half equations will be Ag plus to Ag. Okay. Ito yun. Ag plus to Ag. And the other is Al to Al3 plus. Yan. You split them into half equations. No? Pagsamahin mo lang yung similar atoms. Ganun lang. Easy lang, no? First step. Second step, tignan mo kung balance na yung atoms. No? So, let's look at this. Zoom in natin. Ayan. So, for the first half equation, silver is already balanced na. Yung Ag, isa sa left, isa sa right din yung Ag. So, wala na tayong gagawin dito. Wala na tayong multiply na coefficient. Okay, so we're done with the first one. On the second one, ganun din. Isang aluminum, isang aluminum. Okay, so we have balanced atoms na. Okay, so if that's the case, then you can proceed with number 3, the charges. Okay, ang sabi sa rule number 3, bilangin mo yung charge ng equation. Okay, so punta tayo dito sa nasa taas muna. On this top equation, ano yung charge sa left side? Kung ano yung charge ng ion doon, yun. So, that's the coefficient times the charge. So, this is 1 times positive 1, which is positive 1. On the right side, you have, pag wala nakalagay, 0 yung charge nun. 1 times 0 is equal to 0. Ayan. So, dito na natin nakita that even though the atoms are balanced, the charges are unbalanced. Again, how to take the charges? Coefficient times the charge of the formula. Okay. And so, this times the charge of the formula. In our case, that's positive 1. So, 1 times positive 1 is positive 1. 1 times 0, wala tong charge. So, that's 0. Okay. So, now, Since we know that this has a positive 1 charge, the other has 0 charge, anong gagawin natin? Sabi doon, we add electron to the side with the highest charge. How many? Just enough number of electrons to bring that down to the lowest charge. Okay? Kailangan enough electrons to bring this down to 0. Ay, ganun. Kung ilan yung positive na yan, yung electron na idadagdag mo should be equal should be enough to get the other charge. Okay, so if I am going to make 1 to 0, yung positive 1 na charge papunta sa 0, anong gagawin ko? I should add 1 electron. Bakit, no? Kasi, coefficient times charge tayo, o 1 times negative 1. O 1 times negative 1 is negative 1 plus 1, 0, no? Okay. So, by adding 1 electron, I brought down the charge of the left side, no? Binaba ko yung charge niya to 0, which is now equal to the other side. Okay? So, again, emphasize ko ulit, you add electrons, no? Just enough number of electrons to bring the charge of the side with a higher charge to the side with the lowest charge, no? Ganun lang. O kunwari, ano to? Positive 5 is ito, 2. Ilang electrons yon? 3. Okay. So, para 5 minus 3 equals 2. So, 2 na to, 2 din yung kabila. Okay? So, ganun lang gagawin nyo. Magdagdag ng electrons sa side with the highest charge, just enough to get this charge sa kabila. How about this one, aluminum? This one, coefficient times the charge, 0 on the left side. The right side, coefficient times the charge, positive 3. Now, I have 3 electrons on the right side. Okay? I mean, 3 yung charge ko dito. 0 yung charge ko dito. So, I should add electrons to the side with the highest charge, which is positive 3. Ito yung mas mataas yung charge, positive 3. So, ilang electrons to make this 0? 3. Okay. So again, imagine electron, negative yan, no? So if I add 3 electrons here, ano mangyayari? So bababa yung charge niya, no? Plus 3 times negative 1. Ano mangyayari dyan? Magiging 0 na yan. Okay? 3 times negative 1, 1 times positive 3. 3 minus 3, 0. Now the charges are equal. Okay? And medyo malapit na tayo matapos. We are able to balance the atoms and the charges of the half equations. Okay? Now, before you combine them, sulat ko muna uli dito sa right side. Okay? So, before you combine them, kailangan pag pinag-combine mo sila, mawawala yung electrons naman. Okay? So, yun yung sabi dun sa rule number 4, no? Ang sabi sa rule number 4 is that before you combine the equations, kailangan equal yung number of electrons. What's the purpose, no? So that you can cancel them out, no? Kasi the original equation, wala kang makikitang electrons doon. Okay? Okay. So wala kang makikitang electrons dapat doon sa final equation mo. So, kailangan yung electrons mag-cancel out din sila sa isa't isa. Okay? Yung isa nasa left, yung isa nasa right. Okay? So, yan. So, kailangan mag-cancel out sila. How? Kung ilan yung number ng isa, ganun din yung sa isa. Okay? O kaya kunin mo yung kanilang least common factor, no? And just multiply 1 and 3. Ang kanilang LCM ay 3, no? Okay. So, since ang 3 ang kanilang LCM, ito, wala ka nang gagawin. 3 na to eh. 3 na yung electrons dyan. But on the other side, may gagawin pa ako. Kasi 1 electron lang yan. So, to follow the LCM, ang gagawin ko, I will multiply the top equation by 3, no? Okay, so I will multiply it by 3. LCM tayo, okay? So again, bakit 3? Para equal siya dun sa kabilang equation. Okay? Kailangan equal. Now, let's combine the equation. We will have 3 electrons, 3 Ag plus, aluminum, 3 Ag, Al3 plus, 3 electrons. Okay? Ayan na yan. Now, nakikita nyo, you have 3 electrons on the left, 3 electrons on the right. You can simply cancel that out. And your final equation will be 3 Ag plus, aluminum, 3 Ag, and aluminum 3 plus. So this is now your balanced equation. Okay? So ganun lang. Madali lang siya talaga. No, ang dami lang steps, no. But madali lang naman kabisaduhin yung steps, no. Ano yung step natin? 4 lang 'yan. Paghiwalayin to into half equations. Paano 'yon? Kung ano yung similar atoms, yun yung pagsasamahin. Okay? So ito similar, pagsamahin mo sila. Ito similar, pagsamahin mo sila. After you created the half equations, you balance each of them. Balance mo muna atoms nito. Balance mo muna atoms nito. Pag tapos ka na mag-balance ng atoms, electrons naman. Okay? So you add electrons to the side with the highest charge always now. How much? Just enough, no, para magpantay sila. Okay? And also, it is necessary for you to add electrons. Kailangan may ina-add ka talagang electrons dito. Kasi again, this is redox reaction. And redox reactions are dependent on electrons. No? So, kailangan may ma-add kang electrons. Pag wala kang ma-add na electrons dyan, hindi yan redox reaction. Okay? So, ganun. So, after mo mabalance yan, pagsamahin mo sila uli. But before you combine them, make sure that the coefficients for electron are equal. How? You get the LCM. Okay? Ipag-multiply mo yung mga electrons nila. For example, ito kanina, 1 electron. Ito, 3 electrons. You get the LCM. The LCM is 1 times 3, which is 3. So, dito sa baba, 3 na yung electrons, wala ka nang gagawin. Sa taas, isa lang yung kanina. So, gagawin mo, you multiply the entire equation by 3. Okay? Times 3 mo lahat yan. Now, you can combine them. And as you can notice, the electrons will simply cancel out kasi meron sa left, meron sa right. Pwede mo i-cancel out yan. And the final equation is this one. Okay? So, ano lang yan? 4 easy steps. Ayan. So, easy pa lang kasi yung problem natin. Wala pa tayong oxygen, hydrogen dito eh. Okay? Pero ang dali lang, no? You just follow this, no? Let's proceed. How about this one? The equation kanina. Sabi natin, unbalanced to, obviously. Okay. By the way, bago ako mag-proceed, when you balance the equation, dito pwede mo ma-distinguish kung sino yung oxidation, sino yung reduction, no? Habang nagba-balance ka. For example, ito makikita mo nasa left side yung electron. Pag nasa left side yung electron, that's reduction. Pag nasa right side yung electron, oxidation. Okay? So, alam mo na kung sino yung reduced, sino yung oxidized na. Okay? So, obvious na. Kasi kapag left yung electron, ibig sabihin nun, gaining electron. Ito, madadagdagan siya ng electron. So, reduction to. Ito naman, losing electron kasi nasa right side yung electron. Okay? So, by balancing equation, pwede mo rin malaman kung sino yung redox. No? Okay? So, kahit hindi mo na isa-isahin yung oxidation numbers, no? You balance them na lang. And during the process, malalaman mo kung sino yung redox. No? Sino yung red, sino yung ox. No? Again, kapag red, reduction, the electron is on the left side kasi the electron is gained by the atom. Madadagdagan siya ng electron. to get the product. Ito naman, mawawalan to ng electron. So from this, magiging ganun siya. Okay? So yan. So kahit di ka na mag-oxidation numbers, magganito ka na lang. I find this easier, no? Kasi habang nag-balance ka, nakikita mo pa yung kung sino yung reduction, sino yung oxidation. Okay. So yun lang. How about this one? Let's balance this. Sabi ko kanina sa inyo, if you find this equation, you split this na. Split mo sila into 2. So ano yan? Ayan. So, yung permanganate and manganese 2+, pagsamahin mo yan. And yung chlorine ion and hypochlorous acid. Okay? Paghiwalay mo sila into 2 equation. So, let's write here half equation. Oops. Anong hail? hail alma mater. Half equations. Okay, so pag split natin sila into 2, you have the MnO4 to Mn2+. Then you also have Cl to HClO. Okay. Let's zoom in. So, ganun muna gagawin niya. You split the equation into 2. Pag mag-split kayo, kailangan yung similar atoms makikita mo doon. Hindi pwedeng MnO4 pati HClO kasi walang similar atoms eh. Ano yung similar atom dapat? Yung mga manganese, no? Ito naman yung mga chlorine, no? Chlorine atoms, no? Okay. So, ganun. You split the equation into 2 half equations, no? And now, ang sabi, rule number 2, balance the atoms, no? The unique atoms. Ang unique atom is anything other than oxygen and hydrogen. Okay. So in our case, that's manganese, no? So isa manganese dito, isa manganese doon. So wala ka na gagawin. Okay. So focus muna tayo dito sa top, no? So manganese isa dito, isa doon, wala ka nang gagawin. Balance na yung manganese atoms. How about oxygen? Ito. 4 yung oxygen dito. On the right side, wala kang oxygen. Ano sabi ko kanina? When balancing oxygen, you add water. How many water? Kung ilan yung oxygen sa other side, no? 4 dito. Ibig sabihin, dapat 4 sa kabila, no? Okay? So, I will add 4 H2O. Okay? Mag-a-add ako ng 4 na H2O dito. Kasi 4 yung oxygens doon. Wala ako dito. Okay, so by adding 4 H2O, okay, so ilan oxygens ko na dito sa right side? 4 na. Kasi 4 times 1 is 4. And so balance na yung manganese, balance na yung oxygen. So medyo malapit na tayo. Ano na lang hindi balance? Hydrogen. Okay. So ang hydrogen, ilan dito sa right side? 4 times 2, 8. Wala yung hydrogen sa right side. Sa left side, wala. Wala nakalagay. So, if ganon, mag-add ka ng H plus dito. Di ba sabi ko kanina, when balancing hydrogens, you add H plus. Okay? So, ganon. Again, balance the unique atoms. Manganese muna. Then, kapag balance na sila, oxygens naman. 4 oxygen dito, sa kabila, wala kanina. So, since 4 yung oxygen dyan, you add 4 H2O here. Okay? You add 4 H2O here. Ayun. So, since may 4 na tayong H2O, balance na yung oxygen. 4 na oxygen dito, 4 din oxygen doon. Ano yung hindi balance naman? Hydrogens. So, dito, we have 4 times 2, 8 electrons. 8 hydrogen. Sa right side, wala. No? So, I need to add 8 H plus, no, to balance them. Now, kailangan, pag nakita nyo na tapos ka na maglagay ng H, kailangan tapos na yung balancing ng atoms mo. Okay, so you double check ulit. Isang manganese, 4 na oxygen. Okay, so 4 to. 4 times 1 is 4. Then 8 H plus. I mean 8 hydrogen. 8 na hydrogen. 4 times 2, 8 na hydrogen. And so balance na yung ating equation in terms of atoms. But the problem is yung charge. Kasi pag tapos ka na sa atoms, yung charge naman. Well, let's get the charge on the left side and on the right side na. So again, how to get the charge? Coefficient times the charge. No? Coefficient times the charge. Coefficient times the charge. Coefficient times the charge. Pag walang nakalagay, 0 ang sagot doon. Okay? So let's do that. So we have 8 times positive 1 plus 1 times negative 1. So that is positive 7. So the charge on the left side is positive 7. 8 times 1 is 8. 1 times negative 1, negative 1. 8 minus 1, 7. Positive. How about the right side? Now, on the right side, you have 1 times positive 2. 4 times 0. Okay. So, 0 to. Wala yung charge eh. Pag wala nakalagay doon na charge, 0 ang sagot. Okay, so what's 1 times 2? Edi 2. 4 times 0, edi 0. So 2 plus 0 is positive 2. Now, sino yung side na may highest charge? Obviously, yung positive 7. Halata naman eh. Positive 7, this is bigger than positive 2. By how much ang laki niya? 5. So that means I need to add 5 electrons on this side. No? I need to add 5 electrons. Bakit? Kasi yung difference nila, 7 and 2, ang difference ay 5. No? So I need to add 5 electrons. Okay? So let's recount the charge on the left side. Recount ulit tayo. Kasi nadagdagan tayo ng electron. So 5 times negative 1. So magba-minus 5 to. Yun. Nag-positive 2 na rin yung charge niya. Okay? So ganun. So by adding 5 electrons, I made the charges equal na. So positive 2 dito, positive 2 doon. So tapos na yung balancing dito. Ito na yung balance half equation. Okay? If may question, don't hesitate to ask. No? This is very crucial. Kasi pag hindi nasundan to, you will not find the other topics, yung other subtopics easy. No? Mahirapan ka later on. No? Kaya kailangan ngayon clear sa atin yung pag-balance. Okay? So let's have another example. Tapos na tayo dito. Yung isang half equation naman. Hindi pa tayo tapos. Isa pa. Okay. Ito yung nakakatuwa sa redox. No? Multiple times ka magbabalance. No? Kaya along the way, may ensure mo talaga na tama sagot mo. Kasi babalik at babalikan mo sila. Ito. Cl minus going to hypochlorous acid, HClO. Ano sabi natin? Balance the atoms. Isa yung Cl dito, isa yung Cl doon. Okay yun. Hindi wala na tayong iba-balance na Cl. Ano na lang problema? Yung ibang atoms, may hydrogen to, may oxygen yun. Okay? So, on the right side, you have oxygen. Oxygen muna iba-balance. So, ano gagawin ko to balance the oxygens? I will add water. Ilang water? Isa lang. Kasi isa lang oxygen mo dun eh. Okay. So, kung ilan yung oxygen doon, ganun karami ilalagay dito. Okay. Sir, what if may oxygen ako dito? Pag may oxygen ka dito sa left, gagawin mo, edi mag-minus ka doon. No? Kunwari, 5 oxygens dito, tapos dito, may isa na. Edi 4H2O na lang lalagay mo dito. Okay? So, ganun ha. Hindi porket kung ilang, hindi, technically yung sinabi ko is, oversimplification. Kung ilan oxygen doon, ganun karami oxygen dito. Pero what if may oxygen na dito? Before pa maglagay ng water, may oxygen na dito. Ang gagawin ko, sir? Ganito lang. Pag may oxygen na dyan, edi make sure na pag pinag-add mo yung dalawang oxygens, equal siya sa right side. Kunwari, may 5 oxygens dito. Tapos dito, meron ng isa. So, ilan pa idadagdag mong water? Edi 4 na H2O. Okay? So, ganun ha. Let me erase that. Ayan. Okay na yung Cl, okay na yung oxygen. Ano susunod na problema? Hydrogen. Yun naman yung last one na rin, kaya okay lang. Okay? So, on the left side, you have 2 hydrogens. On the right side, you have 1 hydrogen. Ano gagawin ko? I will add hydronium ion on the right side. Isa lang. Why? Kasi dalawa dito. Kailangan dalawa din doon. Meron ka ng isa eh. So, isa na lang idadagdag mo pa. Ganun din yung sa oxygen, no? May dalawang oxygen ka dito, tapos dito merong isa. Di isang oxygen na lang dadagdag mo pa. Okay? So, ganun lang. So, 2 hydrogens here on the left side. Dito sa right side, meron ng isa. So, isa na lang yung kailangan pa para maging 2 hydrogens. Now, what's next? Pag balance na yung atoms mo, balance na yung Cl, balance na yung oxygen, balance na yung H, dalawa, 1 plus 1, 2. Okay, so good. Ano susunod? Charges. No? So let's get the charges of the both sides. No? This is 1 times 0, 1 times 0, 1 times negative 1, 1 times negative 1. So ano to? This is 0, this is negative 1. So the left side is negative 1 in charge. How about the right side? Tingnan natin. 1 times, ano charge neta? Wala nakalagay doon. So 0. Plus 1 times positive 1. So all in all, that's positive 1. Ito yung tanong, sino yung highest charge? Sino sa dalawa yung highest charge? Ito, yung positive 1, obvious naman, di ba? Mas malaki to kaysa sa negative 1. So, dito ako maglalagay ng electron. Again, you add electrons to the side with the highest charge. Always. Okay? Keep that in mind. Kung sino yung malaki yung charge, dun ka maglalagay ng electron. Ang problema, ilang electrons? How many electrons are needed to bring down the charge to negative 1? Dalawa. No? Dalawa dapat yung electrons na idadagdag ko. Bakit? Kasi, positive 1 yan. Pag nag-minus 2 ako dyan, negative 1 siya. Okay? So, positive 1 yan. Pag-add ako ng dalawang electrons, what's 1 minus 2? Negative 1. Ayun, balance na yung ating charges. Okay? So, yun. Baka ang gawin nyo, isang electron lang lagay ko. Ha? Pag isang electron lang nilagay nyo, 0 yan. Hindi pa rin yan balance, no? Dapat dalawang electrons para negative 1 talaga. Okay? So, yan. So, this is the equation for permanganate to manganese 2+. This is the equation for chloride to hypochlorous. Ayan. By just looking at the form of the equation, we can tell that the manganese ion, permanganate ion rather, yung permanganate ion, this underwent reduction. Bakit reduction? Kasi yung electron nasa left, no? Nadagdag siya sa permanganate. Nadagdag siya dito. So, reduction yun. Electron is gained by this reduction. About this one, The chloride ion lost electron. Naglabas siya ng electron. So this is oxidation. Okay, so ganun lang. By balancing them, makikita mo kung sino yung oxidation, sino yung reduction. So kahit hindi ka na mag-individual oxidation numbers, you just balance them. Pag nasa left side electron, reduction yan. Pag nasa right side electron, oxidation yan. Okay? And now, yung pinaghiwalay, pagsasamahin uli. No? Ganun talaga. Kasi magkasama naman talaga sila originally. So, pagbalik natin sila. Okay. Okay, so let me rewrite the equations here. 5 electrons, 8 H plus, MnO4, producing Mn2 plus, 4 H2O. Okay, tapos yung isang equation, you have H2O, Cl minus, HClO, H plus, and 2 electrons. Okay. Before you combine them, okay, so kinopya ko lang yung equation kanina. Before you combine them, make sure that the electrons are equal. Bakit uli kailangan mag-equal yung electron? Kasi we need to cancel them out. Sa final equation, kailangan hindi mo makita yung electron. So, meaning, cancel mo sila. Cancel. Okay? Ano problema? 5 yung isa, 2 yung isa. Okay? So, kunin mo yung LCM, the least common multiple. Ano least common multiple? Edi 5 times 2, edi 10. Okay? So, kailangan the electrons should be 10. Kasi yun yung kanilang LCM. 5 times 2, 10. Okay. So, that means, yung top equation, ano i-multiply ko dito to make the electrons 10? I should multiply the top equation by 2. Okay? I-multiply ko to by 2 para yung electrons ay maging 10. Okay? So, ito times 2 ko yan. Ganito na lang muna gagawin ko. Ayan, times 2. Para maging 10 yung electrons. And itong equation sa baba, para maging 10 yung electrons, I have to multiply this equation by 5, no? Times 5. By doing this, the electrons are now, the electrons will be balanced, no? Okay? So, let us rewrite the new equation. No? Rewriting. Okay, rewriting. So, times 2 na natin to. So, you will get 10 electrons. 8 times 2 is 16 H plus. 1 times 2 is 2. Permanganate ion. 1 times 2 is 2. Mn2 plus. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 H2. Oh, so all the coefficient has to be multiplied by 2. Okay? Para masatisfy yung gusto ni electron. Okay? Again, ba't natin to ginagawa? Kasi we need to cancel the electrons later on. Okay? So, hindi natin ginagawa yan para sa wala. No? Okay? How about the bottom equation? Times 5 naman yan. So, 5 times this. The 5. Yung CL, ganun din. CL, 5CL. Napagbaliktad ko lang, pero okay lang kahit anong order. Okay lang yan. Additive naman yan di ba? So, yung pag-plus, pwede pagbali-balik ta rin. So, 5Cl, 5H2O. On the other side, 5 din yon. 5HClO, 5H plus, and 10 electrons. 5 times 2, 10 electrons. Now, we can combine the equations. Bago pa natin pagsamahin, no? I-cancel na natin mga pwede i-cancel. Kung sino nag-i-exist sa left at sa right, pag equal sila, i-cancel mo yon. Okay? Sino yung mga nasa left na nag-exist din sa right? No? So, yung 10 electrons sa left, meron din sa right side. So, we can cancel that out. Ano pa? Ano pa yung nasa left na nasa right din? Water. Okay? So, dito sa left may water tayo. Sa right side, meron din. 5 dito, 3 yon. So, kung bawasan ko ng 5 to, may matitirang 3 sa right side. Okay? So, ito magiging 3 na lang. Okay? So, ganun. Kinancel ko na yung 5 water. Like sabi, may matitira pa rin sa right side. Kasi sobra siya eh. Okay? So, 3 water matitira doon. How about the H+? Dito 16, dito 5. Okay? So, kung ika-cancel ko yung 5, may matitirang 11 dito. Tama ba yun? 16 minus 5, 11. Okay. So, may matitirang 11 dito. Wala na. Wala na. Wala na tayong pwede ma-cancel. So, the final equation can be written as 11H plus 5Cl 2MnO4 2Mn2 plus 5HClO and 3 water. Okay, so that is now the final equation. Daming nangyari, no? So imagine yun, we started from this, naging ganito. Okay? Pasensya na maliit, mahaba kasi yung equations natin eh. You may want to take a screenshot, no? Para ano? Kasi hindi pa ako tapos. Parang hindi pa ako tapos. May buburahin ako dito. Okay, so take a screenshot para may copy kayo. And if you have question, don't hesitate to chat, no? Okay. If you want to clarify something, go lang. Para clear sa atin. Kasi, again, if hindi kayo marunong mag-balance, may madadali kayo sa next subtopic. Sir, wala naman specific order. Wala naman. Pwede pagbali-balik ta rin mo yan. Okay lang. Pwede unahin mo yung MnO4, pwede unahin mo yung H+. Basta yung coefficients nila ay the same. Tsaka kung sino yung nasa left, sila yung nasa left. Yung nasa right, yun lang yung nasa right. No? Walang order. No? Kahit jumbled yan. Basta nasa left sila at nasa right sila. And the coefficients are kung ano yun. Okay? Pwede unahin mo, Cl muna. O kaya MnO4. Okay lang. Walang problema. Kung gets naman, we will proceed with the next one. Basahin natin yung nilagay ko sa slide. Sabi dito sa slide na to, if you want the equation, if you want an equation in the basic media, add enough electrons in the final equation to make the number, saan galing yun to make? Add enough OH in the final equation equal to the number of H+. Okay? Ano meaning nun? Okay, Tagalog ko. Kung gusto mo daw ng basic equation, basic media, okay, ibig sabihin may OH, you add OH equal to H+. Okay? Bakit? Pakita natin. Okay? So, ano ba tong equation na to? This equation is actually in acidic media. This is in acidic media or medium, no? Bakit siya naging acidic medium or media? Kasi may H+. Again, any solution with H+ ion ay acidic. Okay? So, this equation is in acidic form. If you want to convert that into basic, ano sabi? You add enough OH, no? equal to H+. Ibig sabihin, kung 11 yung H+ mo, magdadagdag ako ng 11 na OH. Bakit? Pakita ko. Kopyahin ko muna yung equation kasi wala na tayong space dyan. Ang haba ng solution, no? Ganun talaga, kaya nga nakaka-enjoy ito eh. Kopyahin ko muna yung equation, 11 H+. Medyo malaki sulat ko. Ang weird, no? Ang laki-laki ng equation natin. Ganun talaga. HClO, 3H2O. Zoom in tayo. Zoom in. Ayan, sakto. So, this is our equation and gagaya ng sabi ko, this is in acidic, no? So, acidic medium to, no? Bakit? Kasi nga, may H+ ka. Okay, may H+ ka. Kung ang problem, gusto niya ng basic media, ibig sabihin, kailangan walang H+. Ano meron? OH. Kailangan may OH ka. So, ano gagawin mo dun? Ganito. You will add OH, no? Magdadagdag ka ng OH na equal sa dami ng H+. Okay? Okay. So, wait lang. Nagkamali ako sa arrow. Ayan. So, magdadagdag ka ng OH enough kung ilan yung H+ mo. Okay. So, ibig sabihin, ilan yung OH na idadagdag ko? Ilan kaya idadagdag ko? 11. Kasi 11 yung H+ ko eh. 11 yan eh. So, magdadagdag ako ng 11 na OH. 11 OH plus, yan. Okay. So, kulang na sa space kaya ginanong ko na lang. Ano ba mangyayari pag naglagay ako ng OH? Remember, neutralization reaction, H plus OH equals, magpo-produce yan ng H2O. Okay, yung kasi yung gagawin natin. We want to neutralize the H. How will you neutralize the H? You add OH. Okay? So, ano yung ratio nila? 1 to 1 yan. Isang H, isang OH. No? So, pagsamahin mo sila. Okay? So, ayan. So, kung 11 yung H plus mo, 11 din dapat OH mo. And again, to maintain equality, kung ilan yung OH na nilagay mo, ganun din sa kanan. Baka magtampo yung kanan eh. Okay? So, kung ilang OH ilagay mo dito, ganun din sa kanan. So that the equation, pag kinancel out mo yung OH, the same pa rin. Okay? Diba sa algebra, ganun din. Kung ano in-add mo sa left, ganun din yung add mo sa right. Diba? To make the equation balance. Ganun din dito. Okay? So, I add 11 OH dito. 11 OH doon. Bakit 11? Kasi 11 yung H plus ko. And I know that these two, itong dalawang to, they will react to form water. How many water? 11 din. Kasi kung 11 yan, 11 to, 11 din yun. Okay? Lagpas na pala yung 11, 11. Ayan. So, 11 na yung ating water. Let me copy everything else. Okay? So, ayan. Na-neutralize ko na lahat ng H+. So, kung titignan mo yung equation, wala ka ng H+. OH na. So, ibig sabihin, basic na to. Ano na lang kailangan magawin dito? Simplify mo na lang. Okay, cancel out mo yung water. So, dito, may water ka. 3. So, ito, 11 minus 3 is 8, di ba? 8, 9, 10, 8 na. So, may 8 na matitira. Kasi may 3 na water dun eh. Cancel mo yung 3 water. So, 11 minus 3 will be 8. No? May 8 matitira. Okay? So, the final equation in basic media will be 8H2O, 5Cl minus, 2MnO4, 2Mn2 plus, 5HClO, and 11OH. Ayun. So, this is now the final equation in the basic media or medium. And so, yan. Again, the arrangement doesn't matter. No? Basta yung nasa left, dapat nasa left lang. Yung nasa right lang. Okay? So, we now have an equation in the basic media. Kasi makikita mo, walang H plus O. OH lang. So, basic na yan. Okay? So, you may ask, no? Sir, meron bang direct way? Kunwari, tinanong sa problem, basic. Meron bang direct way to solve for basic agad-agad? Sagot ay wala. Wala. Ibig sabihin yan, kung hinahanap ay basic, gagawin mo pa yung acidic muna. Wala kasing direct method. Okay? Walang direct method to get the basic agad, no? So, gagawin mo when balancing, daan ka muna sa acidic followed by the basic. There is no shortcut, no? So, ganun lang. Ibig sabihin, kailangan alam mo pa rin how to balance acidic. Then, after nun, saka ka mag-basic. Okay? So, take a screenshot, no, for your reference. I will allow you to answer the next question. Okay. I will allow you to answer the next question. Okay. So, nakapag-screenshot na kayo, no? Okay. So, I'll give you time to answer this. So, I want an equation in acidic and basic. No. So, write the equation for this, no, in acidic and basic media. Okay. So, I'll give you 5 minutes. 5 minutes is enough. Yeah, 5 minutes is enough. Sige, gawin na natin 10 minutes. 10 minutes to balance this. Nawala. So, I'll give you 10 minutes to balance this. And I'll be back by 11:34. No? So, balance this muna. And take note sa mga in-emphasize kong words. No? Okay? So, yan. You have a copy of this naman. If you don't have, take a screenshot. Okay? Then, balance nyo na to. Okay? So, yan. So, I'll be back by 11:34. Okay. So, ano kaya answers nyo? I don't know the correct answer pa kasi sasagutan ko pa siya. Okay. So, if you're done, no, you can comment your answers, no, para makita natin kung um, nasundan naman yung steps, no. Okay. Pero if you're still answering, I will proceed, no, para makita nyo kung may nagkamali ba kayo sa isang step or not. Okay. So, let me balance this. Okay. Okay. So, una, gagawin ko, split ko to. Split ko siya into two half equations, no. So the first half equation will be the sulat ko dito half equations. So that will be the dichromate to chromium 3 plus, and then you have the iodide, the ion, to iodine. Okay. Pag magbabalance, chromium, dalawa yung chromium sa left, isa sa right. Baka nakalimutan nyo yun, ha? Okay, dalawa yung chromium dito, isa dun sa kabila. Okay. So this will be 2. Okay. Baka mamaya nakalimutan nyo yun, ha? Again, be careful. Kasi baka mamaya, hindi nyo na-balance yung unique atoms. Yan yung mga sinasabi nating unique atoms. Unique atoms are the atoms other than hydrogens and oxygens. Okay. Followed by water, add 7H2O. 7H2O, add 14H plus. Okay. Medyo bibilisan ko na lang, ha. Siguro naman nadaanan nyo na yung steps na to. 7 oxygen kasi 7H2 kasi 7 oxygens. 14H plus kasi 14 yung H dito. 7 times 2 is 14. Now charges, this is 14 times positive 1, 1 times negative 2. So this is 12. The right side you have 2 times 3 plus 7 times 0. This is positive 6 na. Okay, so 12 yung highest charge, add electrons para maging 6, no? So I will add 6 electrons. Okay? Yun. Okay, sa baba naman ako. Iodine, dalawa ang iodide, ion, dapat. Okay. And so balance na yung atoms. Charge naman, so this will be 2 times negative 1, negative 2. 1 times 0, 0. Ito, sino mas mataas? Negative 2 o 0? Negative 2 o 0? Sino mas mataas? Di malamang yung 0. Higher yung 0 kaysa sa negative, di ba? Remember na number line. Negative muna, followed by 0, then positive. Di ba ganun yung number line? Negative, 0, positive. So, ganun din dito. So, negative, 0, positive. Higher yung 0 kaysa negative numbers. No? So, ibig sabihin, I will add 2 electrons here. Para mag-plus 2, negative 1 ako. So, negative 2 na din. Okay, so if you got this, ibig sabihin, for sure, tama yung final answer mo. Okay? So, if you got this correctly, for sure, your answers are correct. But if not, no, if nagkamali dito sa coefficient ng chromium, kay iodine, sa paglagay ng electron, then, ayan, take note of that, no? Hindi dito yung electron dapat doon kasi 0 is higher than negative 2. Okay. So, ganun lang, ha? Take note of those pag nagkamali kayo sa parts na yan. Pero kung tumama kayo doon, let's proceed. Okay, tuloy tayo. So, copying ko na lang yan. 6 electrons. Okay? So, magko-combine na ako. Dito na ako sa next step. Before you combine them, make sure that the electrons are balanced. 6 dito, 2 doon. LCM ay 6, no? So, 6 pa rin yung LCM niyan. Okay. Kasi ito, multiply ko na lang sa 3 para maging 6 electrons. Okay. Kung ginawa nyo 12, okay lang. I-reduce nyo nga lang uli, no? Yan. So, 6 pa rin yan. Times 2 mo na lang to para maging 6, no? I mean times 3 para maging 6. Kung ginawa nyo, 6 times 2, 12, okay lang. Pero kailangan yung final answer mo, i-reduce mo pa siya by 2. Okay. So, if even numbers yung mga coefficient mo, then divide mo yun by 2. Okay. So, kailangan hindi na factorializable. Tama ba yung term? Basta yun, wala nang common divisor for your coefficients. Kalimutan ko na yung proper terms kasi alam ko elementary pa tayo nun eh, nung dinidiscuss yan. Tsaka hindi ako nakikinig nun dati sa math. So 6 electrons, 14H plus, Cr2O7, negative 2, 6 iodide. Okay, so 3 iodine, 2Cr3 plus, 7H2O, 6 electrons. Let me check kung tama yung pag-multiply ko. 6, 14, 1, 6, okay. So 2, 7, 3 times 1, 3, 3 times 2, 6, okay. So I got this. Cancel electrons. What else can be cancelled? Wala na. Okay. Electrons lang maka-cancel. So therefore, the acidic equation will be 14 H plus Cr2O7, 6 iodide producing 3 iodine, 2Cr3 plus, 7H2O. Nakuha naman. Let me know kung nakuha na. If not, okay lang din. Yan. So, basta take note of mga ini-emphasize kong ideas. Ayan. Kailangan yung 0 bigger yun than the negative. So, sa 0 ka mag-add ng electron. Ayun. Let's classify pala. Sino yung oxidation? Sino yung reduction? So, ito yung reduction. Yung dichromate. Ito yung nag-undergo ng reduction. This one is the oxidation. Ibig sabihin, dichromate is the oxidizing agent and iodide is the reducing agent. Leora, Jehovah. Okay? So, ganun. Okay. Kamali ako ng label. Ito, dito pala sa taas. Ito yung oxidation. Ayan. Okay, so we have the redox. Okay, so acidic yan. I want the basic one. So I want the basic. Kopyahin ko lang dito sa taas dahil wala na akong space. Okay, so tama ba yung kopya natin? 14, 1, 6, 3, 2, 7. Okay. So now, if I want the basic equation, I will add how many OH? 14. 14 OH dito. 14 OH din doon. And you know that H and OH will combine to form 14 water. Kailangan equal ha. Okay, kailangan equal. Di pwedeng hindi equal. Cr2O7, 6 iodide, 3I2, 2CR3 plus 7H2O. Oh, kinulang ng space, 14 OH. Kinulang ako ng space. Wait lang, ayusin ko para malinaw tayo sa screenshot. Two CR 3 plus 7H. Okay. Ayan. Cancel out water kasi meron on the both sides. May 7 dito. Ito, 14 minus 7 is 7. So the basic equation will be 7. Wait lang. Yan. So the basic equation will be 7H2O, Cr2O7, negative 2, 6I minus, 3I2, 2Cr3 plus, and 14OH. So this is the basic equation, basic. Yan. I hope you got the correct answers. If not, okay lang. This requires practice talaga. Yan. So this requires practice na. So if hindi pa gamay, that's okay lang. No judgment. Okay lang yan. So ganun lang. So easy, di ba? Okay, so I will leave the other problems for you to work on. Ito. Kayo na bahala dyan on your own. I will upload the solutions sa worksheet natin. Ito, isa na lang pala yung nalagay ko. Magdadagdag pa ako sa worksheets, don't worry. Okay. So let's proceed with the next part of our session. Okay, so let's talk about electrochemical cell. Okay. So an electrochemical cell is a cell or a system which consists of electrodes that dip into an electrolyte and in which a chemical reaction either uses or generate an electricity. So, ibig sabihin nun, pag sinabing electrochemical cell, you have this setup. No? So, itong picture on the right, this was my electrochemistry experiment sa aking students before sa PUP. No? This was 2019 pa, before the pandemic. No? So, ayan, noong 2019, we were able to carry out electrochemistry experiments. No? So, sayang lang, di natin magagawa. No? But this is the idea. The setup looks like this. You have your metal electrodes, no? So mga metal yan. Then you have your liquid solutions for the metal ions, okay? Then in between you have the salt bridge. Itong nasa orange, that is the salt bridge. And then these two electrodes can be connected, no? Pwede mo sila i-connect so that the electron can flow from one to another, okay? So, let me show you. Ayan, no? So, ibig sabihin, hindi joke time lang yung electrochem. Kasi, as you can see, ito yung zero. Ito yung zero dial. Look, positive yung value. So, may reading siya. Ibig sabihin, may kuryenteng na-generate dito. However, ang naging problem lang namin dito is that the electrons, yung kuryente na na-produce ko isn't enough, no, to power an LED light, no. So, apparently, LED light is 1.5 volts pala yun. No? Ang nakuha lang namin dito is less than that. Yeah. So sayang, di namin napailaw. Pero yun, pwede. Nakikita mo, dalawang solution lang yan. So this is magnesium ions, magnesium metal. This is copper ions, copper metal. So nagre-redox sila. And as you can see, yung electrons nagfo-flow from one container to the other. So, dadaan yung electrons dito sa bakal. Ayan. So, habang dumadaan yung electrons sa bakal, gagana tong device na to, the voltmeter. And as you can see, positive yung volts niya. No? Ay sabihin, hindi joke time tong ginagawa natin. Totoo to. Yan, ginawa namin to sa lab na amazed din sila sa amin na wow. Kasi you can see chemistry in action. Okay? So, yan. So, electrochemical cell, ganyan yung setup niya, but it either generates or uses electricity, no? So, pwede siya mag-generate ng electricity, pwedeng siya yung mag-consume. Okay? So, ito yung mga ginawa naming experiments, no? So, yung mga cell that produces voltage, no? That generates kuryente. Okay, so yung electrochemical cells that generates electricity are called voltaic or galvanic cell. Okay? So, itong nasa right side, this is voltaic cell kasi positive yung voltage. Okay. So, yun, kapag positive yung voltage, voltaic or galvanic cell, ibig sabihin nun, it generates electricity. So, ibig sabihin, yung mga batteries natin, they have positive uh, value for the cell. Positive yung kanilang voltage. So, voltaic yon. They generate kuryente. So, yun yung mga nasa battery natin. But, if your setup uses electrons, no, you call it electrolytic cell. Pag gumagamit siya ng kuryente in order for the reaction to happen, we call that electrolytic cell. Ano example ng electrolytic cell? Itong dalawang to. So ito, kinoryente namin yung tubig. Literal na kinoryente yung tubig. Kasi, non-spontaneous yung water to gases, di ba? Okay. So, water to H2 and O2 gas. Yun yung ginawa namin dito. So, on this reaction here, we electrolyzed water to produce hydrogen gas and oxygen gas. Yan. Kinoryente namin yan. So, kinonect namin yung lapis sa yung lapis sa battery. Yung lapis, yung carbon doon, it served as the electrode, no? Pwede nyo ito gawin sa bahay. Kuha kayo ng battery. 9 volts na battery. So, yung lapis, tasahan nyo yung magkabilang dulo. You connect them, no? And the pencil will serve as electrodes. Then, maglagay kayo ng tubig na may asin. The purpose of the salt is to make the solution conductive. Okay. Ibig sabihin, pwede na dumalo yung kuryente doon. So, yun. Since your battery provides energy, provides electricity sa setup, magiging possible tong reaction na to. Yung water mag-split siya into gases, no? Hydrogen gas and oxygen gas. That's called the hydrolysis. Okay. And then you can collect the gases. Pwede mo kolektahin yon sa isang beaker, sa test tube. And sabi ko sa students ko, hydrogen gas is flammable. So hulaan nyo ginawa namin. After namin makolek yan, so hinayaan namin yan to run for hours, no? Mga 2 hours siguro kasi 3 hours lab namin din. So 2 hours namin yung ginawa. So medyo marami kaming gas na nakolekta. Ang ginawa namin is ganito. Nilayaban namin yan. Naglayab nga. So, ibig sabihin, hindi joke time yung tinuturo ko. I'm so amazed dito sa experiment na to. No? Ayan. So, ibig sabihin, hindi joke time tong lesson natin kasi you are able, you can do this even at home, no? Yeah, you can do this at your home, no? Try nyo lang. Malapit na naman yung mid-year. Bakasyon nyo yun. So, you can try this, no? Kuryentehin nyo lang yung tubig, tapos bubula yun. Yung bula na yun, hydrogen gas and oxygen gas. Yun. Another application of this is the electroplating, yung electrolytic cell, electroplating. Ano ginagawa sa electroplating? Yung inyong metals, i-coat mo siya ng other metals, no? For example, di ba, meron sa kitchen na copper plated, mga hikaw-hikaw nyo, minsan gold-plated, no? Silver-plated. Ano meaning nun, no? So, yung surface nila, they are coated with those metals, no? Copper, silver, gold, no? Okay. So, paano nila na-coat yon? Kasi kapag yung bakal, nilagay mo lang sa solution ng copper, silver, o kaya ng gold, walang mangyayari. So, in order for the reaction to happen, kailangan kuryentehin mo yung solution. You need to give you need to give electric current sa solution so that pwedeng yung ions dito ma-deposit sa bakal na gusto mo kabitan niya. Okay? So, ganun ginagawa sa copper coating o kaya silver coating, kaya mga uh, gold coating. No? So, ganun ginagawa sa ating mga jewelry, sa mga kitchenwares, no? Even sa mga door handles, yung may mga copper. Okay. Legit ba yung copper na nakakapatay yun ng bacteria? Yes, legit yun. No? However, yung copper mask ay nonsense. Ako na magsasabi nun. Bakit? Kasi in order for copper to be efficient in killing the bacteria or in killing pathogens sa surface niya, it should be 99%. No? Mataas dapat yung purity niya. And ano ba yung mataas yung purity? Di bakal lang. Yung bakal na copper mismo. Okay, so ibig sabihin yung mga copper-coated na lutuan, copper-coated na pintuan, I mean yung doorknob pala, yun, totoo yung science doon na nakakapatay siya ng germs, no? Pero yung sa copper mask, no? Bakit siya nonsense? Kasi hindi naman bakal yun eh. So, ibig sabihin, hindi mamamatay yung bacteria on that surface, no? Kung may copper man doon, less than 99%. Eh, ang requirement 99%. Eh. Ibig sabihin, purong bakal dapat yun nasa mukha mo. Eh, sa copper mask, hindi yung purong bakal. Okay? Tsaka may butas sa ilalim. May butas sa ilalim. So, yun? Mag-face mask ka pa, may butas din sa ilalim. That is same as yung face mask mo, binaba mo sa ilong mo. Ginanon mo yung face mask sa baba ng ilong mo. So, nonsense, no? So, yan yung kailangan mag-ingat kayo sa marketing, no? Okay. Kasi marketing, it can provide false sciences, and if you are not really scientific enough, no? Pag hindi nyo alam yung science behind everything, then you might fall sa kanilang marketing skills. Kasi sa marketing, hindi naman necessary correct ka, no? Ang kailangan mo lang is makabenta ka. But yun, it is very dangerous, especially in our times, no? So, pangit man sa pictures yung ating surgical mask, hindi man siya IG-able, no? Pero that is the best, no? Kung hindi surgical mask, edi yung N95, no? Kasi yung N95 mahal, tsaka sobrang init nun sa mukha talaga. Kaya surgical mask na lang. So ganun ha, don't sacrifice aesthetics with your health, no? Hindi porket maganda picturean yung face mask nyo, safe ka na. No? Kasi may butas yun sa ilalim. Okay. Tsaka yung copper doon, that is not 99%. No? Ano ba yung 99% copper? Di yung bakal mismo. Okay. Kailangan bakal yung nasa mukha mo. Ang bigat nun. So, ganun ha. So, don't fall into those marketing fallacies. Okay, so ganun lang. So, yan, sinashare ko sa inyo kasi medtech kayo. So, you need to know those things then para i-share nyo rin sa iba. Okay. So, may thesis about effectivity of copper, no, in killing germs, no. May mga ganun thesis sa chemistry. And yes, effective sila. Okay. Especially kapag metal talaga. Effective 'yon. Pero kapag 1% lang, less than 1%, hindi gagana 'yon. So, nonsense yung mga materials na ganun. Okay? So, yan. So, let's go back to our main topic. Okay? So, this is the electrochemical cell, di ba? Mapansin nyo, it is composed of it has two compartments, no? So, may compartment ka dito which contains one solution and the other compartment which contains the other solution. Ang tawag natin doon ay yung anode and the cathode. Okay? So, ano yung cathode, ano yung anode? These are the compartments or the electrodes where the reaction is taking place. When your oxidation reactions happen on that electrode, we call that the anode. And kapag reduction reaction naman yung nangyayari doon, we call that the cathode. Okay? So for you to remember this, you use this mnemonic, oxan red cat. Okay. Si oxan may red na cat. Okay? So ganun yung mnemonic dito. Oxidation, anode, reduction, cathode. Okay? So, yun yung mnemonic natin dito. Oxan, red cad. Kung sino yung anode, doon nangyayari yung oxidation. Kung sino yung cathode, doon nangyayari yung reduction reaction. Okay? So, ganun. So, ibig sabihin, itong mga ions natin na to, itong reduction, nasa isang beaker to. Yung oxidation, nasa kabilang beaker yan. Okay? Pag pinag-connecta mo yung dalawang beakers na yan, with their electrodes, may kuryente na mapoproduce dyan. O, ganun din dito. Yung isang solution, ayan. Yung isang solution, ayun. No? Pag pinag-connect mo yan, may kuryente. Okay? So, ganun. And yung napapansin nyo sa gitna, that's the salt bridge. No? The purpose of the salt bridge is to maintain neutrality. No? Para maging balance lang yung ions. No? Kasi when atoms loses electrons, 'di ba nagiging positive sila. So to counter that, no, yung gagawin ng salt bridge, yung negative ions ng salt bridge, yun yung gagamitin niya to neutralize those positive charges. And then sa kabila naman sa reduction, mas magiging negative yung mga ions mo doon. So gagamitin ni salt bridge yung positive ions niya to counter that, no. Kasi if nag-build up yung ating positive and negative charge sa solution, hihinto yung reaction. So in order to continue the reaction, you have to add the salt bridge. Share ko lang experience ko dito, no? Kasi ito yung pinakaunang experiment na ginawa ko sa topic na to. Kasi ang kinakabahan ako, hindi ito gugana. So before ko siya i-share sa students ko, no, ginawa ko muna to sa lab mag-isa. So, ginawa ko, I made the solution of magnesium sulfate and magnesium metal, copper sulfate, and copper metal. Okay? O, kung gusto nyo ito, makapatay ng bacteria, ito, kabit nyo yun sa mukha nyo. Copper metal yan eh. Pero again, may face mask naman na surgical, kaya wag na kayo maggamit ng copper mask. Okay? So yun, ginawa ko nung una, wala na itong salt bridge. Kasi nakalimutan ko eh. Nasa lab ako noon, ako lang mag-isa. So I tried doing that. Wala akong salt bridge na nilagay. Nung pinag-connect ko yun, sabi ko, ba't walang nangyayari? Walang reading. Ba't walang reading sa voltmeter? So kinabahan ako, sabi ko, baka palpak tong experiment na to. Tapos nung binasa ko uli yung libro, sabi, kailangan ng salt bridge. So before I made this salt bridge, ginawa ko, I have meron akong filter paper, nilublob ko siya sa asin, dinugtong ko dyan. Nung nilublob ko yung filter paper na may asin dito, which served as my salt bridge, biglang gumanon yung voltmeter, biglang nagka-reading. Natuwa ako. Ang galing. Totoo pala yung nasa libro. Akala ko joke time lang. Okay? Hindi kasi namin to nagawa nung college eh. Kaya nung ako na yung nag-teacher, pinagawa ko sa kanila. Engineering yung mga students ko, so kailangan nila malaman to. Okay, so ganun. Biglang gumanon yung voltmeter nung nilagay ko yung salt bridge. So yun, that night, gumawa ako ng salt bridge. Saan to gawa? Itong tubo na to, it's yung electrical tube. Tapos nilagyan ko yun ng gelatin na may asin. Yung salt bridge na yun. Okay. So, that maintains the neutrality of ions in the solution para hindi huminto yung reaction. Okay. Kasi without the salt bridge, this reaction will not happen. Okay. So yan, so these are the parts of the galvanic cell. Galvanic cell to, So we have the oxidation in the anode and the reduction on the cathode now. And in between them you have the salt bridge, no. So usually KCl yon, but sa case ko, since ginawa ko yung salt bridge sa bahay, asin lang nilagay ko, sodium chloride, which works well naman. Okay. So by convention, we write the anode on the left side and the cathode on the right side. No? So nasa left yung anode, nasa right yung cathode. So ganun by convention. Anode, bridge, cathode. So ang mnemonic ko dito, kalimutan ko isulat. Mnemonic is ABC. A for anode, gitna is the bridge, and C is the cathode. So yun yung mnemonic ko. A, B, C. Anode, bridge, cathode. Para mas madali maalala. Nasa left yung A, nasa right yung C. Okay? Anode, bridge, cathode. Okay? So, we can shortcut, no? Pwede natin i-shortcut yung reactions happening here in this form, no? So, this is the cell notation. Tawag dyan cell notation. Ganito yung way ng pagsulat ng cell notation. Anode, double line, cathode. Meaning ng double line ay salt bridge. So, A, B, C. Anode, bridge, cathode. Double line. Ngayon, since may ions ka na nagre-react sa anode, may ions ka na nagre-react sa cathode, ganito gagawin mo. So, you write the reaction for the anode here. Okay? So, that's metal, then ion. Okay? Metal, line, then ion. Sa cathode naman, ion, line, then the metal. Okay? So, bakit naging ganyan? For example, dito sa ito, if you write the reaction yan is ganito yan eh. Okay, so ganito kayan eh. Okay, so this is the oxidation, this is the reduction. Okay, so mapapansin mo, copper on the left, Cu2 plus on the right. So copper on the left, Cu2 plus on the right. Okay, ito. Sa reduction reaction naman, you have the Ag plus on the left, Ag on the right. So Ag plus on the left, Ag on the right. Okay, so ganun. So this reaction can be written as this one. Copper, copper 2 plus, salt bridge, silver plus, silver. Okay. So again, ang format niyan ay metal, ion, salt bridge, ion, then metal. So on the left, this is your anode reaction or the oxidation reaction. On the right, that is your cathode reaction. Okay. So if you want to convert this into equation, basic lang yan. Kunwari, given ang cell notation sa inyo, lagyan mo rin ng arrow yan. Okay? So, Cu on the left, sa right, Cu2 plus. Yeah. Cu on the left, Cu2 plus on the right. Ito naman, Ag on the left, Ag plus on the left, Ag on the right. So, Ag plus on the left, Ag plus on the right. So, yun yung mga shortcuts dyan. What else, no? Take note that the anode loses electrons, no? Ito yung oxidation. So, ibig sabihin, the electrons flow is from anode to cathode. So, from left to right yung flow ng electron. Okay? Left to right yung flow ng electron natin. Kasi oxidation to eh. Ito yung maglalabas ng electron. Ito yung cathode, so ito yung tatanggap ng electron. So, left to right. And as it passes through a voltmeter, may mababasa siya tong reading. Kunwari, sa cellphone natin to. Ito yung anode, lalabas siya ng electrons. Dadaan yan sa motherboard, sa LCD, sa lahat-lahat. So, gagana yung cellphone mo, then pupunta siya sa cathode. Ayun. Let's try to convert the cell notations into equation form. Practice lang. Again, left is the anode, right is the cathode. Okay, so let's try to write this in equation form. Sabi ko, gawan nyo lang to ng arrow. So this is the anode reaction, this is the cathode reaction. In between them, lagyan mo ng arrow. Okay. So the anode reaction is tellurium, anode, tellurium to tellurium plus. Ang cathode reaction is tin 2 plus to tin. So if you combine that, you will get tellurium plus tin 2 plus to tellurium plus to tin. Unbalanced yan. So, ikaw na mag-balance niyan. No? Okay? So, unbalanced equation yan. So, kayo na mag-balance kung ano yung coefficients niyan. Okay? Pero ibigay ko na yung coefficients. No? Since, madali lang naman yan i-balance. Ayan. So, kapag binalance mo, yan na yan. Okay? So, I want you to practice on this. No? Okay? Practice lang kayo dyan. Let's try ito naman. Sabi ko, lagyan ng arrow. Zinc to zinc 2 plus. Yan yung anode mo. And what's your cathode? Sir, walang line dito. Okay. So, pag walang line dyan, ibig sabihin nun, parehas silang ions. Ito, Fe3 plus, Fe2 plus. Okay lang yan. So, this from Fe3 plus magiging Fe2 plus yan. Sir, what about platinum? Platinum is a catalyst na. So, catalyst electrode yan na. Catalyst yan. So, hindi kasi mangyayari ito without the metal. Okay? So, without this metal electrode now. Okay? So, yung platinum, that is not written in the equation kasi sabi nga natin, yung catalyst, di naman talaga siya kasama sa reaction. No? Tumutulong lang siya. Okay? So, yung platinum dyan, di mo sasama sa equation yun, ha? Okay. I'll take note of that. No? So, in your anode, let's write the reaction in the anode. That's zinc to zinc 2 plus. And in your cathode, on the right side, you have the Fe3 plus to Fe2 plus. So if I combine that, that will be zinc plus Fe3 plus and zinc 2 plus to Fe2 plus. Ikaw na mag-balance ng equation na yan. Balance mo na lang. Mentally, balance natin. Okay, so this will be 2. This will be 2. And balance na yan. If you want to know why, gawin nyo na lang siya manually. Okay? Kayo na bahala mag-manual niyan. Let's convert the last one into an equation. So CD2 plus, H plus to H2. Again, yung PT, wag mo pansinin yan. That is just the catalyst electrode, no? To help this reaction to happen. Okay? So yung mga catalyst, hindi mo papansinin. Okay, so on the anode, the reaction is CD to CD2 plus. Nasa left. CD to CD2 plus. On the right, that's H plus to H2. Cathode. That's H plus to H2. So if I combine the equation, I will get CD plus H plus, CD2 plus H2. Balancing this will give me this equation. Yeah, so balance na yan, balance na. So, ibig sabihin, no, pwede mo i-shortcut yung reaction. Ganito na lang ilagay mo. Metal, metal ion, ion, metal. Kaya pwede namang metal, metal ion, ion, ion. Plus the catalyst. Pwede rin naman metal, metal ion, ion, gas, then catalyst. Okay? So, ganun lang. No? So, this is shorthand notation in writing the cell. Again, always take note that the reactions on the left are the anode reactions. So, this tells you that tellurium is oxidized to Tl+, zinc is oxidized to zinc 2+, cadmium is oxidized to Cd2+. On the right side, you have the cathode. Tin 2+ is reduced to tin. Iron 3+ is reduced to iron 2+. And hydronium ion is reduced to hydrogen gas. Pag combine mo lang yon, you will get your equations. Okay? So, ganun lang. So, how does this look like, no? Itong may metal catalyst. Ano itsura niyan sa experiment, no? So, ito hindi ko to nagawa kasi wala kaming platinum. Mahal kasi yung platinum. Okay? Pero ganito yung itsura niyan in theory. Okay? So, yan, you have a solution of acid here. Then, this is your hydrogen gas. Then, inside this vial, you have your platinum. So, the hydrogen, excuse me, hindi kaya ko. So, the hydrogen gas, no, will cling onto the platinum metal. So, dito siya magkikling para humalo yun sa solution. Okay? So, this is how your electrodes will look like. So, ito yung connected sa cell. Okay? Yan. So, connected yan sa kabila. Okay? So, ganun lang. We call this the standard hydrogen electrode. No? Kapag ang electrode mo ay hydronium ion yung nakalagay, standard hydrogen electrode tawag doon. Okay? Also, Pwede mo rin ilagay yung concentration ng species mo. You can write their concentrations as ganito. So you have zinc, zinc 2 plus. Kunwari, 1 molar yung concentration na, edi indicate mo 1 molar. Then, kunwari, H plus mo, 1 molar, lagay mo rin. Then, H2, lagay mo 1 atm. Okay? So, lahat ng gases ay expressed in pressure. Lahat ng concentration ay expressed in molarity. Okay? So, this is better, no? Kasi if you are asked to do certain experiment, mas maganda kung alam mo yung concentration ng ions mo. Okay? Para hindi ka nanguhula, no? Pwede mo sabihin, let's say copper. Copper 2 plus, then 0.5 molar. Then, kunwari, H plus, 0.30 molar. H2, 0.5 atm. And platinum as the catalyst. And so, ito mga molarity and the pressure, you can change that depending on your experiment. No? If you notice that the concentration and the pressure are all 1 molar pati 1 atm, pag puro ganun yung concentration pati pressure, then you consider your experiment in a standard state. So meaning kapag standard state, 1 molar yung concentrations. Otherwise, non-standard yon. Okay, so ibig sabihin hindi siya 1 molar. Yun lang meaning ng standard. Standard, 1 molar. Pag hindi 1 molar, edi non-standard. Okay? Ayun lang. Okay, so let's walk through this very quick lang. Okay? So standard potential, no? So what is this, no? So a cell potential is the measure of the driving force of the cell reaction, no? So basically, inaalam niya yung voltage ng reaction. Yun lang meaning ng standard cell potential. Right? So the cell potential is the voltage of the reaction. Ibig sabihin, if gagawa ka ng battery, you can theorize, no? Ano yung voltage na magagawa ko? Okay? So ano kaya voltage na magagawa ko? You can solve for that, no? And the reaction and the equation to be used to solve for the potential of the cell is this one. E cell equals E cathode minus E anode. Sa libro, nakasulat dyan ay E cell equals E right minus E left. No? Yan yung ituturo ng ibang teacher. No? Okay? But ako, I prefer the cathode minus the anode para mas clear. Kasi ano yung right, ano yung left. No? Okay? Mas maganda kung alam nyo kung ano yung nasa right, ano yung nasa left. Bakit right and left ginamit nila? Kasi, di ba, remember the voltaic diagram? This is the anode, this is the cathode, this is the salt bridge. No? Yung right meaning non-cathode. Ayun. Yung left meaning non-anode. Okay. Pero again, I don't really encourage the use of this, although nasa libro yan. Bakit? Kasi mas maganda yung alam niyo yung meaning ng right pati left. Baka kasi mamaya, yung right pala, anode yun. Yung left, cathode. No? So, baka magkamali. No? So, mas maganda ito para mas alam nyo yung nangyayari. Okay? So, again, the equation for obtaining the cell potential is E cell equals E cathode minus E anode. No? E cat minus E anode. No? Or right minus left. Okay. So, let us try to solve for the cell potential of this reaction. Try natin to solve for the cell potential of this reaction. Paano gagawin ko dito, sir? O, ganito lang. Hanapin mo yung anode, hanapin mo yung cathode. No? So, ito yung anode, obviously. As ito yung cathode, obviously. Okay. So, ngayon, ano, sir, yung E-cell nila? Ito, yun yung purpose ng table. Ba't siya nandito? So, since na-identify mo sino yung anode, sino yung cathode, hanapin mo yung value ng E-cell nila. Hanapin mo yung E-anode, hanapin mo yung E-cathode dito. So, gawin natin yun. Hanapin natin yung zinc. Tulungan na lang. Medyo marami ito eh. Ay, nakita ko agad. Ay, nabalik ko pa. Ayan, so yan yung sa zinc, no? Ang E cell niya ay negative 76, no? Negative 0.76. Sulat natin yan. So this is the anode. Ang E anode is negative 0.76 volts. How about the cathode? No? So for the cathode, tingin lang ulit tayo sa table. Hanapin natin yung copper 2 plus copper. Ito, so nakita ko na. Yun, so 0.34. So according to table, ang E ng cathode natin would be 0.34 volts. Okay? So to solve for the cell potential of this, okay? So to solve for the cell potential, that is E cat minus E anode. So anong cathode? 0.34. Minus yung anode, negative 0.76. Kunin natin yan. Ito pala yung calcu. Kala ko nawawala. So that will be 1.10 volts. No? So yan yung voltage ng cell neto. Yan yung voltage neto. Okay? Ganun lang. Identify mo lang ano yung reaction. Oh, ito anode to, ito cathode to. So hanapin mo yung cell potential nila sa table. Hanapin mo lang. So according to the table, ito yung sa anode, ito yung sa cathode. Then plug in mo lang siya dito sa equation, you will get the E cell. Ganun lang ka-simple, no? By the way, it doesn't matter kung baliktad yung equation dito or not, no? It doesn't matter kung baliktad yung equation or not as long as the ions are consistent. No? Basta consistent yung ions mo, yun. Okay. Again, bakit ko sinabi na dapat consistent? Kasi kung titignan mo itong isa, this is copper to copper, copper 2 plus to copper plus eh. Baka kasi ito piliin nyo, hindi yan. So hanapin nyo yung may copper 2 plus, pati yung may copper only. Okay? So marami kasing ions na nakalagay dito. Kaya mag-ingat. No? Again, it doesn't matter if baliktad yung equation dito. Pero dapat ang makita mo is yung mga corresponding ions involved sa reaction. Okay? Kailangan makita mo yung correct ions dito. Practice pa tayo. About this one, we have mercurous ion and hydrogen gas, mercury and H+. By inspection, the oxidation number of H is 0, positive 1 dito. So ibig sabihin, this is the anode. Okay? So ito yung oxidation. So ito yung anode natin. So ibig sabihin, ito yung reduction. Ito yung cathode natin. So ayan, ganun lang. Kailangan by now, mabilis na kayo mag-identify ha. Sino yung anode, sino yung cathode. Then look at the table. Hanapin mo yung table. Tingin ka lang sa table. Tingin ka lang dito. Zoom natin. Hanapin natin yung H2H+. Ang sagot doon ay 0. Yan, 0. Kasi kapag may H2H+ ka, tawag doon standard hydrogen potential. So siya yung baseline, siya yung 0. Okay, so E anode equals 0. Then for the cathode, hanapin mo to Hg22+. Ay, nahihirapan ako maghanap. Ayun, nakita ko na. Hg22+. Ayan, 0.85 daw, sabi. Mag-ingat sa table ha, nakakalito eh. So, and ano daw? 0.85 sabi. So, the E cathode is, 0.85. Yeah, volts. Let's solve for E cell. You know, E cell equals E cathode minus E anode. Cathode is 0.85 volts. Anode is 0 volts. So basically, that's still 0.85 volts. Yan yung E cell natin. Practice pa tayo, no? Parang ang dali lang, no? Ang dali lang kasi siya. Hanapin mo lang yung anode, hanapin mo yung cathode, tapos tingin ka sa table, then plug it into this equation. Then you can get the E cell. How about this one? Identify sino yung oxidation, sino yung reduction. Then once na ma-identify mo siya, you can solve for the E cell. Iron 2 plus to iron, bumaba yung oxidation number, so this is reduction. This is the cathode, no? Ito, tumaas oxidation number from 0 to positive 2. This is oxidation. This is the anode. Since na-identify natin yung anode and cathode, then let us look at the table. Tingin sa table ng maigi kung ano yung cell potential ng cathode. For the cathode, it's 2 plus to iron 2 plus and iron 0. Apparently, wala siya sa table. Okay, so pag wala sa table, nasa ibang... Ay, hindi. Ito, nakita ko na. Tinamad lang. Ayun, nakita ko na. So, ayan, Fe2 plus to Fe. Nakatingin ako dito sa taas eh. Kasi doon ko nakita yung isang Fe. Ayun, mag-ingat kasi itong Fe na to ay 3 plus. Ang gusto natin, 2 plus and iron 0. So, ayan. So, Fe2 plus Fe, ano yung voltage niya? Ayun, negative 0.44. So, E cathode is negative 0.44 volts. Nakakaduling lang talaga tumingin dito sa table. Kaya, ingat-ingat. How about aluminum? Patingin ulit tayo. Aluminum. Yung aluminum, alam ko nasa baba yun eh. Ito, nakita ko na. 1.66. Negative 1.66 for the aluminum. 1.66. Yun. So, negative 1.66 for aluminum. Ayan. Tapos, solve for E cell. Paano yun? E cell equals E cathode minus E anode. Cathode is 0.44. Anode is negative 1.66. Calculate nyo na lang yan. Calculate negative 0.44 minus negative 1.66. 1.22 volts. Okay? So, yan yung voltage ng cell natin. So, madali lang, no? Tingin-tingin ka lang sa table. Pag wala dyan, magbibigay pa ako ng isang table. Mag-upload ako ng isang table sa Canvas which contains the cell potentials. No? Kompletong cell potential. Kaya you can look up sa Google naman. Okay, hanapin mo potential table, cell potential table. Pero mag-upload ako sa Canvas, don't worry. But for now, use this table muna. Itong nandito sa slides natin. Okay? So, I will leave this to you to practice. Ayan. Ito. Yun. And I think ito ay for the next meeting na lang. Okay? So, for Monday ito. However, may onting announcement lang ako. For Monday, maybe mag-asynchronous tayo, no? Sa Monday, mag-asynchronous na lang ako, pansamantala. Okay, pasensya na ha. Bakit? Kasi ganito. So, asynchronous na lang natin tong last part. Onti na lang naman yan. Tapos na yung slide. Ayan, tapos na yung topic. So, i-asynchronous ko na lang yon. Onti na lang naman kasi para makapag-quiz na rin kayo. Kasi on Monday, magdudusa muna ako. May exam ako sa graduate school. Okay, so, on Monday kasi may exam ako. Dapat kasi nung nakaraan yan. Tapos na-suspend yung classes. Suspended classes sa Lasal last Monday. So, naurong kami next week. Kaya ayun. So, magre-review muna ako ha. So, mag-asynchronous muna kayo. Asynchronous muna tayo para onti na lang naman eh. No? So, mag-upload ako maybe by Saturday. Upload ko yung material, then panoorin nyo na lang. And that means wala tayong classes sa Monday. Okay. So sa sa Thursday nyo na lang uli ako makikita next week ha. Again, pasensya na kasi mag-async tayo. Kasi ako ay iiyak muna ako kasi mag-e-exam ako eh. Okay. So ganun ha. So wala muna tayong meeting sa Monday, but I expect you to watch the asynchronous lesson na. Kasi andun yung last topic. Patapos na rin naman tayo, don't worry. Okay? So ayan. Dito na tayo. Tapos na tayo sa standard cell potential. Madali lang i-solve, di ba? So, etong last two, async to. Okay? And so, that will be all for our session today. Again, please practice on the previous problems. No? Yung mga na-balance nating reaction, you can actually get their E-cell, no? Yung cell potential. So, always remember E anode minus E cathode. E cathode minus E anode. Okay? So, E cat minus E anode. Ayun lang yung announcement ko. So, ayan. So, wala muna tayo sa Monday. Async tayo. Also, announcement ko lang about sa quiz. Mamayang gabi yung deadline neto. So, I hope na makapag-take kayo. And apparently, maraming naka-perfect naman. So, that's a good sign. Apparently, marami naka-perfect. Pero, ayun. Ayun lang. So, marami naka-perfect. Edi good na. So, na lang. I-pattern nyo lang. By the way, kapag nagsagot kayo dito, tas minali niya, tas feeling nyo tama, wait nyo yung answers tomorrow. Bukas lalabas yung answers eh. If your answer nyo is near to what I encoded there, nara yun, sagot nyo is 1.1. Ang in-encode ko doon, 1.2. Okay. Pag decimal yung difference ng answers nyo, most likely, i-adjust ko pa scores nyo nun. I-adjust ko pa yun, don't worry. Okay. So, i-adjust ko sila after the deadline. No? So, siguro Sabado na lang. Doon ako mag-a-adjust, ha? Ayan, so that will be all. So, good luck sa pag-take ng quiz. And I'll see you again next Thursday. Okay. So, async muna tayo sa Monday. And thank you for attending our session today. Hopefully, may natutunan, ha? So, you ask questions if there's any naman. Okay. I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye. And eat your lunch na po.